Welcome to today's Farm Life. I'm Doug Cunningham. Today we're continuing our conversation about data security. We're going to focus in a little bit more on video cameras or surveillance cameras. Talking again with Paul Claggett with Eternal Securities Products. He tells us what kind of cameras to look at when we're thinking about placing cameras around our farm, where to put them, what kind, that type of thing.
We do what a lot of people do is you determine, first of all, what's our benefits. If we can watch just the area that we're calving at, or just the front door in the driveway, or just the front of my business, that's one thing. But if we're in an agriculture setting and we say, we've got close-up pens that we need to be monitoring, whether they're monitored by fixed cameras or movable cameras or motion detected cameras, doesn't make any difference. We're trying to monitor them. And then you're coming into the area that you're calving out in. You might have a hot room, you might have a meds room, you may be looking at your fuel tanks. And in the times of the year that you're not looking at those pens, a lot of my people have them motorized and will swing them out to watch driveways, other things that are of interest that aren't as critical as an empty lot, or are more critical than an empty lot. So you really have to use this as a management tool. Most of my people don't shut their stuff off. If you have cameras running and somebody comes in and does something, whether you get just somebody driving by and causing an issue. The other thing that we do with ours quite often is we'll set our motion detection to log. So you go to church, that you left at 7:45 on Sunday morning, and you come back and there's tire tracks or there's just something out of place. You can open your DVR up and look at the log, and you can see what cameras, what motion, what time. Click on those and go directly to them to do a playback. So there's a lot of different types of equipment out there, a lot of standalone product. And they all have their pluses and minuses. We need to be looking at, everybody needs to look at costs. Most of my people, when we've done something as far as cattle lot or working with our people that are lambing out, most of them tell us within the first year they've paid for their investment. Again, time management. And just you save that one or two that you wouldn't have been able to see because it was 45 minutes since you've been out there, and it's cold out, we're going to wait another hour. They look on the camera and it's like, no, we need to get somebody out there.
According to Claggett, if you currently do not have any video surveillance cameras, there are a few things that you might need to keep in mind if you're thinking about putting a system in place.
There's a lot of very inexpensive equipment out on the internet. If you decide to purchase, let's say it's some type of a nanny cam, or like a doorbell type system that you're going to use to monitor something at your farm, you need to look at what that manufacturer is and do research as far as what their security levels are. The next thing you need to be looking at is how you're going to access that video. Are you going to access it through a mobile app? Are you going to keep it just local to your own computer, to your network at home? Are you going to send it to the cloud? Each one has its own level of security risks. We get into a lot of these places and people haven't even looked at what their internet provider is providing as far as firewalls, what your local routers are providing as far as security measures, firewalls. We get into a lot of these places and everything is set up factory default passwords, factory default usernames. A lot of times the encryption is shut off. That's quite typical. And each thing you can add to stop somebody from getting into your cameras. And again, it might not just be the cameras. You may have something monitoring heat systems. You may be monitoring bins. There's a lot of things that are IP'd that are either wireless or wired, tied to your network. And those people out there are looking for these soft spots that they can attack.
Claggett said as long as your cameras are working and secure, there should not be many problems. He did point out, though, that most surveillance equipment leaves some type of backdoor open for a number of things, like automatic programming updates, and that can be a security issue.
The IP on the DVR is what they would try to go to. We set it up where they have to go through specific ports. If they deviate or attempt to deviate from that port, ours will sever the connection. Some of the manufacturers have backdoors. A backdoor is typically used by a manufacturer if you have problems or they need to do some software upgrades or something that you don't know about. I shut all that off. I would rather have them send us an email saying this model needs this update than for it to automatically do it. The issue on equipment that automatically updates is, again, some of these unscrupulous people, they set up programs that will send out a signal telling that machine it needs to update. They don't do any verification codes typically on update. Therefore, now the bad guy's into your machine.
Again, that seems to be an awful lot of technical information to process and to think about. If you get questions, though, feel free to contact your IT professional, contact your internet provider, contact someone if you have questions or concerns, because these are little portals or backdoors or openings that we want to make sure that stay closed. So contact somebody. I would encourage that. And again, I agree with Paul. Don't run from the technology. Just embrace it and be on top of it and be aware of what might be going on around your place. Again, feel good about what you do today, because what you do today is very important. Until next time, I'm Doug Cunningham.